Welcome to Noteworthy, a podcast by the young people of Banyule about the great things they're doing in our community. Brought to you by Banyule Youth Services. Our current series is focusing on the music industry, and this week we're hearing from Laura and Hayley from Nightlight.
We are Nightlight.
I'm Laura.
I'm Hayley. So we met in high school. That's how it all started, I guess we could say. About year 10, didn't know who Laura was. Found out she could sing well, so that was great. I think it was over about a period of 3 years, I would say, of us being close friends. It took us that long to figure out that we write music better together. Really realised that we both just have this love for pop music. Oh, it was so fun.
So I sing, rap a little bit sometimes.
So if you'd see us live, you'd be seeing me mainly on the keyboard, multiple keyboards, I would say. The first time we ever actually performed in front of someone was the audition for the Jets record label.
I honestly found an application for it on Facebook, and they were pretty much just advertising that they do a 6-month deal with an artist, like a local artist. I don't even think I told Hayley that I applied for it. She got a bit of a surprise there, and we did our first ever live performance in front of an audience. We messed up a lot, but hey, it must have been enough because they chose us as their artist for the 6-month period. And then we got to properly record our first EP with them, and they helped us out with the release and the launch party, and a music video as well. So we really got a really good head start with Jets. They really helped us kind of establish who we were as artists, and help bring those first couple of songs to life.
So we had the launch for our EP that was released with Jets. We had one then, which was amazing. It was at McLeod College. It was with Beck Sandridge, which was amazing. They managed to get her down. Best experience. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, we actually single-handedly also organised the second launch at Bar Open. Yeah. And that, I reckon, was us first actually becoming our own managers, our own event planners and stuff. So I feel like that really got us off our feet, and it was the transition from Jets to actually be able to plan stuff on our own.
We started to seek out our own gigs, opening for other artists and putting together our own lineups. And then I think that's where we started to establish ourselves as our own kind of event organizers as well, and our own managers, because we started to decide on what we wanted our brand to be, and if we wanted to start taking our brand a little bit more seriously.
I guess if you'd have to actually split up into roles, I would say up front we're artists, but in the background there's so much you don't see. So we're actually publicists, we're event planners, booking managers, where we organise merchandise. There's so much goes on behind the scenes that you don't even think about.
Well, the most notable one that we organised was Playing the Flame, which was a 4-part kind of mini festival that was raising money for predominantly the Victorian bushfires. So how that started out was pretty much, I just put up a little post on our Instagram story asking our fellow musician friends if anybody would be interested in doing a little gig, just to raise some money.
Then we got this ridiculously overwhelming response with so many smaller artists that just hadn't been asked to play yet.
We took on a lot of different artists from different genres, and we had so many artists that were interested that we ended up organising not 1 but 4 gigs. I just found myself on my laptop 24/7, talking to artists and venue managers and trying to organize all the details.
Probably the point where we really realized how big a deal it is that we don't have a manager or something, because 24/7 both of us were on our laptops. We split the work up. We had 4 venues because each gig was at a different venue, so we did 2 each, and even then every 5 seconds I had to look at my phone, something tiny would go wrong and I had to reschedule something, talk to the artist. It was ridiculous. But it was also heaps of fun.
I don't know if we would want to pass that on to someone else, because we really enjoyed it.
Altogether, we raised $2,000. We were not aiming for that. We literally were saying at the beginning, okay, let's see if we can get to 1,000. But literally after the first couple of gigs, we were already there. So we just kept pushing higher.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
I think those were our last gigs before coronavirus happened. It really is crazy to look back on. It all happened so fast, I think. And we all just sort of accepted it. We were okay, this is going to be our reality for a while. But when you think about how long it's been since any of us have actually been to a live event. It's a long time. And for creatives and for people whose lives are music, that's a long time to go without, you know, your best, I guess, hobby and your lifeline. It's really difficult.
I was actually having a huge writer's block like over the summer holidays. So like it actually took me until Corona to get my like head screwed on straight and actually start writing again because I had nothing else to do. It took me a while, but I finally sat down and was like, well, look, I'm just gonna do it. And it was scary at first, but I just kept writing. And yeah, I know this has so been said before, but it's just like a combination of not comparing yourself to others and also not pressuring yourself that really just gets you in a good headspace to be creative is what helped us.
And I think that's a really good tip for other artists who feel really overwhelmed by the songwriting process at the moment. Like, treat it like an activity. Treat it like you're just doing little workshops that will amount to the larger project at the end. So like if you work on the piano, like write a melody a day or something and don't pressure yourself for that melody to be good. Like write four lines of lyrics a day or something. Like just do little bits, and then you won't see the larger songwriting process as intimidating.
For me, like there was even a point where I just could not get myself onto an instrument, onto my laptop to write music. So I actually created this big playlist on YouTube of like a bunch of videos just showing you like step by step, like, you know, obvious stuff like how to sidechain, how to like use samples to like the best ability, like all those things like that, like fun things to do on Logic, like how to create an easy beat, like so basic. And I'd just be like, okay, you can't write a song today, got it, just watch a video, you know, like bare minimum stuff. And yeah, I think that's again probably the advice that we give to people creatively.
Once you pull yourself out of that initial like, I guess like haze, then you can start working again. And I think the hardest part of being in that headspace is pulling yourself out of it. So when you find what works for you, whether it be those little activities or like watching a video or something, then you can find out how to make the most of your time and to not be stressed out.
It's also the first time properly we've like been in the writing process without having the support of like Jets and stuff.
We couldn't just go to our friends and ask them for advice like in our uni class because we didn't have that face-to-face contact anymore. So we really had to listen to our content and decide for ourselves whether we liked it or not. And it really came down to us rather than the opinions of other people, which is a good thing, but it was a little bit daunting as well.
And then we again reached out to a bunch of people on Instagram, via Instagram, wondering whether they wanted to do something over Instagram, like a live show. And again, we got an overwhelming response and Housebound was created.
We organised Housebound pretty much over, I think, like under a week.
Cool.
We decided to do a little Instagram live festival, starting off on our Instagram. We wanted people to donate to Support Act, but we also just wanted to see our friends perform again. We wanted all of our friends to get together in the comments and like reunite again over all of our music. And obviously that happened, and we were really happy to be able to like chat with all of our friends again over Instagram, and see everybody's responses to our new music as well. So it was just a really cool kind of, I guess, show and tell session where we could all be like, this is what we've been working on. And it was a lot more casual than a proper gig.
Because we did just tell people to directly donate to Support Act. We don't know how much we raised for that, but hopefully it did get people to donate. Again, it's just really raising awareness. So yeah, Laura and I have been, again, as we mentioned, working on some music at the moment. We've both been writing tracks separately, then showing each other. And yeah, there's been some bangers created from that, not gonna lie.
I can be confident in saying that we are really liking what we're writing at the moment, and we're feeling really confident about it. And not only that, but our production skills have increased so much since we wrote our first EP.
I'm just gonna confess right now, like we didn't know how to automate anything other than volume. I learned how to sidechain this year, like, you know
and
what I mean?
learned Oh, I learned how to pitch correct vocals.
If we could release a whole EP without knowing that, like, just imagine what we could do now. Like, there's some good stuff coming. And yeah, we do plan maybe towards the end of the year, no set date or anything, some kind of collection of songs will be
We'll call
released.
it a collection of songs.
A collection of songs will be released at some point. There will be more Nightlight music coming.
Yeah. So we've been Nightlight. You can find us on all your favorite streaming platforms. So we're on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal. We're always really active on Instagram as well. So you can find us at Nightlight Z Music. And the same with Facebook. We're most active on Instagram. So if you ever want to chat to us, just send us a message, and we're pretty much always on our phones.
Oh yeah.
And you
definitely.
can also find our music and merch at Bandcamp. So just search up Nightlight and you can find us on there as well.
Thank you to Laura and Hayley from Nightlight. You've been listening to Noteworthy, a Banyul Youth podcast.